Meanwhile, BJP leader Mahesh Jethmalani thinks that the governor of Maharashtra is not authorized to pardon Sanjay Dutt. Our correspondent Deborah Gray caught up with a lawyer. Let's listen into what he has to say.
Press Council of India Chief Markande Kadju has stirred a virtual hornet's nest by making an appeal to the governor of Maharashtra to pardon Sanjay Dutt. Joining me now is legal Mahesh Jethmalani to tell us why that is not possible. Mr. Jethmalani, what is the flaw with this appeal to the governor?
Power of pardon of the governor does not extend to conviction for offences under the Arms Act. It's a central statute. It's an occupied field, and the state government cannot do anything about it. It gives an impression that let's first save the man and then think of the provisions.
There is also the much hyped review petition that people are speaking of that Sanjay Dutt can file before the Supreme Court. But isn't it true you can't really file a review petition unless there is a technical flaw with the judgment?
Yeah, what you're saying is that the review jurisdiction of a court, particularly the Supreme Court, is extremely circumscribed. That to invoke it, there have to be grounds which are normally extremely difficult to advance. For instance, there has to be some gross misappreciation of law, an error apparent on the face of the judgment, an error of law apparent on the face of the judgment, or there's some new evidence which brings out the truth and establishes the innocence of the person convicted. He's been convicted for 5 years, and that's the minimum sentence. There was no discretion for the Supreme Court or any other court. The trial court, as you know, sentenced him for 6 years, but there was no discretion. He's got off with the very minimum. First of all, he hasn't been convicted for Tada. He must consider himself lucky because, as M.N. Singh says, that there was a strong case for Tada against him.
People with lesser offences got caught under Tada, for instance, Zebunissa.
Yes, I mean, there's a compelling case. In fact, there's an overwhelming case for Zebunissa to be pardoned in this matter. I mean, there was never a case for Tada against her, as far as I'm concerned, because I read the evidence pertaining to her. There was never a case for Tada against her. There was a case, if at all, of the Arms Act. And again, there's a minimum sentence, so she had to get at least 5 years. But if ever there was a case for grant of complete reprieve and pardon, it is Zebunissa's case. Oh, look at her age. She's 70 years old. I mean, there's a ground for humanitarianism and compassion. At least today, the first condition for any, leniency towards Sanjay Dutt should be a clear denunciation of those people who have destroyed the unity, integrity of India and attempted to anyway, and caused the loss of so many innocent lives.